It is possible to become free from debt, financial worry, your boss, and your zip code. You can start living a life you love, but first, you need to find your freedom. Using financial independence and lifestyle design principles, you can create the life of your dreams now. There are many paths to freedom, and that is what this podcast is all about. My name is Becky from 20free.co, and I am the host of the Find Your Freedom podcast. Last year, working from home might have sounded like a dream come true for workers who wanted more flexibility, less micromanaging, and fewer interruptions. Working from home means no more morning and evening commutes in rush hour traffic and a better chance of achieving a good work-life balance. Now, working from home is the forced reality for so many people under lockdown at home during the coronavirus pandemic. Whether we want to or not, we're required to learn new skills to perform our jobs remotely and continue to be productive. Without a proper workspace and a prioritized work schedule, working from home can go badly pretty fast. Here are some tips to be productive while working from home. Don't do home tasks during work. The biggest challenge of working from home is balancing the tasks related to your work and the chores that need to be done around the house. Your environment at home has many distractions, especially if you have children or pets. Some distractions include doing laundry, tidying up, or even watching TV. To avoid these distractions, you need to create a distinct separation in your schedule between your work time and your home time to make sure that you're not doing home tasks during work. Besides scheduling time to do your chores outside of work hours, having a separate workspace that is associated with only work can help you avoid these time-sucking activities during work hours. Speaking of workspaces, create a separate workspace. Having a proper workspace inside your home is important in order to stay on track and get things done. It might be tempted to do work in the kitchen or in front of the television, but these places are prone to distractions. If possible, choose a place that is a separate room and make it a dedicated workspace. This way, you can close the door during work hours to keep your family or roommates out and have some privacy on calls. This could mean setting up a table in the bedroom or guest room while your partner works in the office or the dining room. In these times, you may have multiple people working from home at once. If you don't have enough space to dedicate different rooms to work in, make sure you are at least creating a workspace for your attention. If the only place you and your roommate have to sit down and work is the kitchen, you can create separate workspaces there. The most important function of your workspace is that it helps you manage your attention. That's why you shouldn't work on the couch in front of the TV or in bed. And it's also why cubicles are so much better than open concept offices. Manage your attention. Your attention can be managed by taking control of two things: your eyes and your ears. To create a workspace for your eyes, you can put up a cardboard barrier in the middle of the kitchen table to create a little cubicle for you and your roommate. Also, be sure to remove visual distractions, such as televisions or messes, like piles of dishes, that are begging to be cleaned up. To create a workspace for your ears, put on headphones, earplugs, or earmuffs. Do you have noise-canceling headphones you can put on? Great! If not, use regular headphones with some classical or acoustic music so you don't get distracted by lyrics. You could also put on the earmuffs that you use when mowing the lawn, or pop in some earplugs that you would usually use in hotels or hostels. In addition, make sure that you tell the people that you live with to not disturb you while you are at work. I recommend doing this by using a visual signal outside the door or workspace that indicates your availability. I use an LED light above the door in my bedroom, where my desk is located, and change the color based on whether I'm on a call or working but wish not to be disturbed. You can go low-tech with this too by printing out a paper sheet with different statuses, such as on the phone, on a video call, doing deep work so please don't disturb, etc., and putting a binder clip or clothespin on the corresponding status. Set up your workspace. How you set up your workspace at home has a significant impact on your productivity and efficiency. It should have good lighting, natural light if possible, and enough space for things like laptops, notebooks, and files. You should also consider your workspace's ergonomics to make work more comfortable. Ergonomic problems can be fixed pretty easily. You don't have to buy a fancy setup to fix bad ergonomics. You only need to rearrange and adjust your existing furniture and equipment to better suit your needs. A desk that is too high will cause strain on your forearms while you type, while a low desk height will cause you to hunch over while you're working, which will make strain in your shoulders and back. The general recommended desk height is 25 to 30 inches, but that still depends from person to person. You'll know that the desk is the right height when your legs can fit comfortably under the desk if you are sitting with your feet flat on the floor. Many desks today have height-adjustable legs. If your desk doesn't, consider propping the legs up on risers. Even if you don't have an official desk, you can use a table and perhaps prop up your table to be an appropriate height. An ideal desk chair has a comfortable seat, back support, and adjustable arms. Adjust the height of your chair, or find a different chair, so that your feet rest flat on the floor and your thighs are parallel to the floor. The armrests need to be at a proper height so your arms can gently rest on them and your shoulders aren't hunched over. If you're stuck using a less ideal chair like a hardwood kitchen chair, you can place a folded blanket over the back and seat for cushioning, and use a small pillow or heating pad for lower back support. I have this set up on my 10-year-old office chair, and it saved me a lot of back pain. The monitor of your computer should be placed 18 to 24 inches in front of you or at arm's length, and it should be placed at an angle of about 10 to 20 degrees. The top line of your screen should be at or slightly below eye level. Basically, you want to be looking down at your screen slightly so you're not craning your neck. If you don't have a separate monitor for a laptop, consider purchasing a Bluetooth or USB keyboard and mouse so you can prop your laptop up on a book to get it at the right height while placing the keyboard and mouse on the table in front of you. Need a second screen but don't have a computer monitor? Consider using a small television with something like Chromecast to share your screen. The separate keyboard and mouse would come in handy here too if you wanted to use the TV as your main monitor. Not everyone is going to have a fancy home office to work from. But with a few small adjustments to the items that you already have, you could create a much more functional and comfortable workspace. Associate your workspace or setup with work. Here's another reason not to work from the couch in front of the TV. It will be a lot easier to get into your work mindset when you're able to associate your workspace with work. And it will also be a lot easier to switch off your work brain at the end of the day to relax. This can be simple if you work in a separate room from where you typically relax. Out of habit, you will get into work mode when you enter the room and exit work mode when you leave the room. This is a habit based on your work environment. But what if you're working from the kitchen table? This is where your work setup becomes the cue for switching work mode on and off. Have a routine before you start work to set up your workspace the same way. Maybe that means cleaning the table, putting the salt and pepper shakers on the counter, and tidying the countertop or washing the dishes so you don't see any distracting messes. Pro tip: incorporate these activities into your evening routine so that you're better prepared to jump into work in the morning without doing home tasks during work. Then, when you sit down at the table with your laptop, notebook, cardboard cubicle divider, and noise-canceling headphones, your habit will be to get into work mode. When you clear the table of your work items, you will switch out of work mode. Create routines. Having routines is especially important when we work, live, and play in the same space almost all day. Some people dislike routines for the misguided reason that they take away creativity and spontaneity. Ultimately, a routine is creating a habit so you don't have to use conscious thought to remember what to do and when to do it. This actually frees up more mental bandwidth to have creative and spontaneous thought. Most of us already have a morning routine, right? You get out of bed, you eat breakfast, you brush your teeth. You don't have to reference a checklist each time you do those tasks because they're habitual. They're a routine. I suggest creating a pre-work and post-work routine. These are what I call my launch sequence and my shutdown sequence. Your launch sequence should include things like setting up your workspace, communicating your availability to your housemates and your team, logging into your computer, deciding on a hard stop time, reviewing your calendar, reviewing your task list, deciding a priority for the day, and processing your inboxes. For me personally, processing my inbox doesn't mean responding to all emails. It simply means scanning my inbox for urgent messages. Then I address anything that can't wait and spend time in my inbox responding later in the day. The point of a launch sequence is to get you into work mode, get you everything you need to be productive, even if that's a glass of water and a snack, which I personally always have to have at my desk, and to fill your brain with the appropriate information you need to tackle your day. The shutdown sequence helps transition you from work mode to life mode while wrapping up loose ends from the day. A shutdown sequence could include sending requests to coworkers, clearing your email, processing notes, reflecting on what you got done and didn't get done, as well as how you can improve tomorrow, planning for the next day, cleaning your workspace, both the digital and physical aspects, and psychologically disconnecting from work. Turn off work at a set time every day. When there is no separation between work and life caused by your commute, your workday can start to get long and creep into your personal time. It's important to set a boundary between your professional and personal life so you can avoid burnout. Make sure to set a hard stop time each day when you will turn off your computer and unplug from work. It helps if you stop receiving email notifications on your phone after this time as well. Have an accountability buddy, whether it's a friend, coworker, or someone you live with, to do a quick check-in each day to let them know that you've stopped at your hard stop time. This will allow you to maintain a healthy work-life balance. After all, you'll never be able to finish your to-do list. It will just keep getting longer. So you have to make sure that you can switch off your brain from work and get into your life. Don't multitask. Multitasking makes you more prone to mistakes and less productive, so don't fall into the trap of trying to kill two birds with one stone. A worker's error rate goes up 50%, and they will take twice as long to complete tasks when multitasking. You may be protesting, but I can chew bubblegum and walk down the street at the same time. The thing with multitasking is that you can only truly focus on one activity at a time. So if you're trying to do two tasks that require focus at once, neither will turn out well. But if you're half listening to that conference call that you're not really sure why you were invited to it anyway, maybe it would be okay to fold the laundry, as long as you're on mute. Don't try to write a report while on a one-on-one call with your boss, though, because you can't focus on both of those important tasks at one time. That means that you'll perform worse and take longer to do both of them. Finally, one common work-from-home tip that I don't think is totally necessary is get dressed to impress. Some people say that you should dress up like you would in the office. Now, if you're on back-to-back video conference calls all day, you probably want to wear a nice shirt at least. But I don't think that this advice works for everyone. Frankly, I work better when I'm comfortable. I also take breaks and go for walks or exercise throughout the workday, so I'm pretty much always wearing athleisure clothes, which is definitely not office-appropriate attire. That said, I think the act of changing out of what you wore to bed can sometimes be a good cue to get into work mode, just like sitting down at your workspace is a good cue for that. Those are some tactical ways to make sure that you are productive while working from home. Keep in mind that productivity isn't the be-all, end-all of life. Having balance is really important, and setting boundaries can help with that. Also remember that working from home is really different than working in an office. Be sure to set aside some time in your schedule to socialize, since there's less casual social contact in a home office than at your typical office. Also, make sure you get outside. It's easy to spend the whole day from waking to going to bed inside your house because you don't even have to go out the door to hop in the car for your commute. Working from home comes with its own pros and cons, but with proper planning and good habits, you'll be able to adjust to this new normal in no time. You can find a free download with a summary of some work from home tips in the show notes at 20free.co/episode 21. That's the word 20, free.co/episode 21. Do you need help figuring out what's next on your path to finding your freedom? Let's work together. As a money coach and lifestyle design expert, I help people reach their biggest money goals, like paying off debt, building up savings, and using their money to create their ideal life. As your money coach, I help you gain clarity about what freedom looks like for you, develop a strategy to get there, and overcome your money roadblocks on the path to financial and lifestyle freedom. People work with me because they want to finally feel good about their finances and have a stress-free plan to create a life they love. And they don't want to spend years using trial and error and disjointed advice from the internet to figure out how to make it happen. I provide the proven tools to improve your finances and accountability to make sure that you take the action needed to change your life. If you want to take the concepts you are learning on this podcast to the next level, visit 20free.co/moneycoaching to schedule your free 10-minute call with me. I can't wait to help you transform your life and find your freedom. Need someone to talk with about recent changes in your finances due to COVID-19? Let's connect on a free 10-minute coaching call and discuss how I can help. Schedule your call today at the word 20, free.co/moneycoaching. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you're subscribed to the Find Your Freedom podcast on whatever app you're using to listen to this episode. Do me a favor and also leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Go to 20free.co/iTunes to be redirected to the page on Apple Podcasts where you can leave your rating and review. I really appreciate it. If you think this episode would help someone you know, please share it with a friend. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Find Your Freedom podcast. My name is Becky. You can connect with me on Instagram and Twitter at 20freeco and sign up for free resources and email updates at www.20free.co. That's the word 20, FREE.co. I'll talk to you next week on another episode of the Find Your Freedom podcast.